Let's get on to a real division, man. Take this bud. Uh,
Here come Jarvis.
Go ahead.
it's going on you. We going from worst to first.
Damn, damn, damn.
I don't go on hill. We going from worst to first. We not switching up nothing. So
But it's still your goal, Azam, man. Go ahead.
this is your team. AJ went first on his team. This is your team, my brother. Commanders.
I don't think we'll be last place this year. We got a new owner. We optimistic. We brought back most of our team last year, and we even with our terrible owner, we were competitive last year still. So it's like I feel like if you sleep on us this year in this division, especially if you're I don't want to say New York. I think New York will be the other bottom tier team just because of their quarterback, but I could be wrong because NFC East don't have a lot of back-to-back division winners in the history of the NFC East. But I feel like if the Giants are the other losing team, I feel like they'll be last place because I feel like we know what Daniel Jones' ceiling is. We don't know what Sam Howell's ceiling is yet. So it remains to be seen. And it's just optimism for real, because his ceiling could be lower than Daniel Jones. We just don't know. But we do know what Daniel Jones pretty much does. So it is what it is. I think Washington will be number 3. I feel like New York will be number 4. I feel like that was my prediction last year. And AJ, he disappeared.
Yeah, he had to. He had to go. This is my thing, bro. You optimistic every beginning of the year, and I get it. Everybody's optimistic about their team every year, but we have the we talk about, everybody loves to talk about the Cowboy fans and this and that. Washington fans are some of the delusional fans in the world, bro. Like, let's just be honest, bro. Like,
I don't be hearing us talking about championships and stuff like that, though. We mostly say what I be saying.
And the same thing that you'll hear about a lot, like you say, y'all put that thing on the Cowboy fans, that they talk crazy and everything. But like you say, we know a lot of different fans of each team. Like you say, we're not gonna go on whose fan base is which. But this is a delusional ass fan base, bro. Let's be honest. I'm not talking to you.
But no, I want to. Next time I can't. You get a Washington fan talking about that we're gonna win the division, I want you to send that to me, bro.
Okay, I got
because I ain't seen it. I ain't seen it in the last couple of years.
And do the same thing for me.
But I do see a lot. I could send you some Cowboy ones for sure.
That's it. And we could do the same thing. My thing about Ron, like I said, Ron Rivera. Let's be honest. You talk about the new ownership. The only reason that Ron Rivera wasn't fired because of the new ownership. They couldn't get the sale in a matter of time. This is a lame duck coach. Everything has to go perfect for the Washington Commanders for them to do anything positively. Eric Bieniemy never officially called plays solely by himself. You know what I'm saying? So it is to say he got the reins to the offense. Who's to say that it has anything to do with the ascension of Sam Howell? The only quarterback that he's been an offensive coordinator for is Patrick Mahomes. Whoop-de-doo. Now you go from Sam Howell. You go from Patrick Mahomes to Sam Howell. You get this cracking. Oh, you the GOAT. Oh, off rip. Then you are the GOAT. But that's the uphill battle.
I mean, Sam could just be nice.
Then we got to attribute that to somebody, right? Somebody got to get some credit too, right?
But I mean, Patrick Mahomes got to get most of the credit for him being Patrick Mahomes.
But Patrick Mahomes also has Andy Reid. It's like it's a 1-2 thing. Like somebody gets some credit.
You got Andy Reid, but I still believe that he would be Patrick Mahomes if he didn't have Andy Reid because he nice.
Yeah, we don't know that.
But I don't think that Peyton Manning or Tom Brady's coordinators made them. So it's like nice.
Peyton Manning coordinators didn't because you couldn't name them. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why I've always said Peyton Manning is the GOAT quarterback to me.
And so that's all I was saying is that
you got to have talent. We're not taking away. You got to have some talent. But like I said, if he takes the next step, because like I said, we only have one game. We only have one game from Sam Howell, so we don't know what he can do.
And that's why I said if he do take the next step, I don't know if it's going to be because of Eric B. You feel what I'm saying? It could just be because he getting an opportunity. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to stop.
No, I feel you. We like you said, but we're gonna need this. We're gonna use it. We're gonna get Eric B because he needs all the credit that he can get, so he can be.
I'm gonna give the credit to Eric B. Just the same way that people.
I mean, he's gonna take it. I mean, if I was I'm gonna take it too. That's
this
how
defense,
the cookie crumbles.
This defense underachieved last year. John Fox is still there. I mean, not John Fox. Jack Del Rio is still there, right? Candy, you still watching the game?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm saying he's still there. You was ready to get him fired too. So the two people that you wanted fired last year are still there. Like I said, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't see anything positive going to happen other than they're just going to be competitively trash.
But that's what third place is. That's what I'm trying to figure out where the delusional comes in. So it's like
no. I wasn't talking to you. When I said delusion, I wasn't talking to you.
I ain't heard a news article or one fan in our group say anything positive about Commanders. I really haven't, bro. And I've been searching.
We gonna talk, bro. We gonna talk. I ain't just talking out my ass.
So what I will say here is, I think this will be a team kind of like what I said the Lions would be last year. They're not like, it may not be one of those teams where it's like, oh, this might be a potential playoff team, but they have the potential to be right on the edge.
They almost made the playoffs last year.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, they might be right on the edge, and if you get one of those bounces, it's going to be, somebody to worry about. But the biggest issue with this team is the same thing with the Lions last year. What is the quarterback OC relationship going to look like, and how is that going to look? Because that'll be the determining factor if they will be able to damn, I said that twice. If they will be able to upset some teams and catch some teams by surprise. Because say what you want, Sam Howell is walking in. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Sam Howell is walking into a situation where he does have some weapons on the outside to make some things happen. And if he is what he could possibly be, and if he's anything what he was in college, they'll be in a good spot. And if Eric B was actually someone that could actually call plays and draw up some and scheme some things and scheme some guys open, this can be a problem. This can be something you got to work with. So we will see. I'm not saying that this team is going to win a division. I think that they will be competing with the Giants for third place.
That's what Ron Rivera would get fired mid-season, bro.
But here's my thing. If Ron Rivera doesn't get fired mid-season, that means
so. Even if
hold on, wait.
Losing.
Wait. If Ron Rivera doesn't get fired mid-season, it's a possibility that he, like, even if this team gets 10 wins, he'll still get fired and they'll promote Eric Bieniemy.
They're not promoting.
And Josh Harrison
yes,
said,
they
like,
will.
They're not looking to shake up the football culture this year. They basically done and trusted Ron with it because they're focused on the business culture, which is their number one aspect. So it's like
they have to.
Yeah. So it's like next year they're gonna focus on that. So it's like I find it hard to believe, even if he goes 0-8, that they just, because who are you gonna bring in? You're a basketball guy first and foremost. So it's like you don't really know. It's like Eric B is gonna be a part of this staff anyway. So it's like if we go 0-8, I ain't pressed to hire you as head coach. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking to get rid of everybody if we go 0-8. So
it's one of those.
Ron is that bad to where he gets to be fired mid-year, which I don't think will be happening. Then I don't think that Eric B will be the next guy, because I feel like ownership is going to look like you're part of this crew.
No, I'm saying if the team is doing good.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that's just my opinion.
I think it'll be one of those Dirk Cutter, Lovie Smith type things.
I'm thinking it's one of those set you up to fail type things. Ron Rivera is only retaining this job because the new ownership came in within the time that they can't shake things up. We've seen new owners get in there and they want to shake things up. They want to make a splash. If they're going to be trash, they're going to fire Ron Rivera. They're going to appoint, because all the fan base is going to want Eric Bieniemy to get the joint. He's going to be appointed, and he's going to be, hey, show us everybody that you can be a head coach, and he's going to be set up to fail, and they're going to get everything about it. They're going to clean house and going to get the things that they're going to do. And y'all can get some of these big name coaches next year because, like I said, new ownership wants to make a splash. And that's just my prediction. We can move on to the third team. Third team in the division was the New York Giants. New York Giants have a lot to be optimistic about. They had an amazing draft. They had an amazing offseason. They, other than, they got the players signed. They got Saquon in camp. They re-signed the quarterback. They got some weapons. They got Darren Waller.
Heard he killing.
He's throwing. They just throwing just Danny Dimes. Just looking like already. Danny Dimes and all the clips that they show. But at the end of the day, it's Daniel Jones, bro. Like, my thing last year was they snuck up on everybody. Let's be honest. Last year was a rebuilding year, and they was ahead of the schedule. So a lot of time.
It's the NFC. It's the NFC East, bro. We don't have back-to-back champions. We don't.
But they wasn't the champion.
No, I'm not saying. So it's like every year there's a juggling of the NFC. Like I've seen it for the last 20 years, bro. Like every year there's people in the NFC, they go from worst to first. It's just that type of division. So it's like the Giants, I put them last year, but it's like only because you gotta rank them. You know what I'm saying? Even though they could be last this year, I'm not saying that they're gonna be easy to beat or guaranteed to be last. It's just where I have to rank them preseason. So I'm with you. Like they rank low. I don't think they surprised anybody last year though, because
I think they surprised a lot of teams last year once they was like, oh, hold on, these dudes is competing. They like these dudes is next thing you know, they was in close games and they was winning these games. You know what I'm saying?
Fam, they started off the season 6-2. They caught some motherfuckers off guard.
They definitely caught a lot of people off guard.
That wasn't like they had a tough schedule. Like who they beat their first 6 games.
They beat the Titans the first game, and then
they beat the Titans. They beat Green Bay.
The Titans was a contending team, and
hold on, wait.
I ain't never been so.
But wait,
and then they beat the NFC.
Wait. They beat Green Bay. They beat Green Bay, and then they beat Baltimore, and then they beat Jacksonville in 3 consecutive weeks. Green Bay, Baltimore, and Jacksonville.
And I sold on them. Baltimore wasn't sold on Jacksonville or Green Bay last year.
But I'm pretty sure if we look back at the schedule when you probably picked Tennessee. Like
I probably didn't because I was you know what I mean? I don't like Tennessee, bro. I don't pick I'm not a Tennessee picker. I'm gonna tell y'all that now.
That's fine, but they still was the better team at the time.
But if the Giants started out 6-2, I probably was picking them. I go with trends. I'm a trend.
I'm gonna tell you right now, they ain't starting off 6-2 this year. That's crazy.
But at the end of the day, all jokes aside, I understand why a Giant fan would be optimistic about the team. Like I said, they made key improvements on paper. You know what I'm saying? And so I get it. Do I believe it? No, I don't have to believe it, but I do understand when the Giant fans are talking hype and they feeling good about their team. I get it. I do understand why they feel that way, but I don't believe in Daniel Jones at all. And at the end of the day, Daniel Jones is the quarterback, and and then they brought in all their receivers is all slot receivers.
It's another reason why I got them last place because they didn't address the number one. And so here's the thing, like. I got question marks on Danger. I said we know what he's going to do, but really he ain't never had no squad to do anything with. So it's like that's the one thing that we don't know about him. And it's like they had an opportunity to go and get some free agent wide receivers, didn't. Had an opportunity to draft some wide receivers who were not slot guys, didn't. You know what I mean? Darren Waller was their big gift to Daniel Jones. So it's like, all right. Let's see. So it's like for me, that's their weakest point too. I feel like they're gonna go as far as Daniel Jones is gonna take him, but who does he have to help him? So it's like,
so this to me actually is gonna look like it's funny because they actually got his defensive coordinator. This gonna look to me if what I see Brian Daboll doing is making this look like a Greg Roman offense, where you're trying to make it easy and over the middle and make it just some short, quick, comfortable things and get that 5 yards a pop. Running game going with Saquon because, like you said, you got Isaiah Hodgins, Darius Slayton, Jalen Hyatt out there running 24 miles an hour, running faster than you said
somebody at 24 miles.
You say running faster than Usain Bolt. So we'll see. But Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal. Those those are solid, solid bookend tackles.
Evan
Solid.
Neal was trash.
I said,
Those fastest,
but I'm saying
guys
that's
don't
why
pan out, bro.
that's why I said solid, because you take pairing Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal. I'm just saying it's okay.
No,
It's okay.
Evan Neal was trash.
But when you
Andrew
I
Thomas is
just
one of
don't
them
like
ones.
super.
right, but that's what I'm saying. So when you
Wideouts.
got one of them ones and then someone that's trash, it's gonna be okay.
Wideouts got to get in and out of breaks, bro, and that's why.
But what I'm saying is they're not gonna be running.
Guys.
They're not gonna run these long developing routes. That's all I'm saying.
Not. Shoot,
Then
you better
what-
run a fly. You better run 9 routes.
So what is Jalen Hyatt then?
But here's my thing: if Jalen Hyatt, for one, he might not be starting, but if you put him on the field, like, to me, that's going to be that 3-step drop 9 route. It ain't going to be, 5,
cool,
7.
You can defend that.
Rip route. You said what?
Yeah, you can defend. You can defend it, but that's why I said you're gonna have that 5-yard running game going with Saquon, and then that's gonna make it tougher. That's all I'm saying. Once again, I'm not sold on this team. I'm just
when
speaking.
He ever averaged 5 yards?
I'm saying best case scenario. I'm saying if they
I'm saying worst case.
God damn it, Hill! Like, this ain't no NFC. Like, this is coming from a non-biased. Hey, if this is their best case scenario, this is what they're looking to do. This is how they want their offense to be set up. This is what the Ravens offense would look like, because Lamar Jackson didn't take 7-step drops. He was in that RPO and stuff like that. And you had Devin Duvernay just, hey, let me just try and win right off the line if I'm going to take a shot. That's what I'm saying this is going to look like. It ain't going to look like, somebody dropping back and, let this long develop. If we're going to take a shot, it's going to be a quick, oh, shit, we got a single high. Let me just try and put it out there. Other than that, we're gonna work over the middle.
Cannon, what Mike Tyson say? Everybody got a plan till what?
Till they get hit in the face, man.
Man.
But that's what the fuck I'm talking about here. This is the plan.
I know.
This is just the plan.
Plans don't change.
It makes sense.
It gotta be their plan.
That's their plan, though, because they don't have wide receivers that can get separation. So it's like and you didn't, like, you said that they had a great offseason here. Like, I think if you neglect your biggest weakness, then that's just an okay offseason. I'm not saying that you had an awful one. I like some of the moves that they did, but it's like Washington neglecting linebackers. Like, you can't continue to neglect your weakest position and try to celebrate your offseason, bro. It's like, Daniel Jones, everybody know that Daniel Jones needs wide receivers. Is like, who's the number 1 wide receiver?
Darren Waller, bro. Come on now.
He played tight end, bro. So it's like that's
why I said it's gonna look like the Ravens.
Now, on 3rd and long situations, we double Waller. Then what?
Darius Slayton, bro. Come on now. Can we go to the next team, please?
We can go.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dallas Cowboys.
Absolutely. I got to go first because it's my team, right?
Yep.
This is one of those times where the off-season hype, where people, Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. This is where this adds up to be. Yes, I'm a fan. Yes, this can be biased, can be viewed biased. I don't give a the things that we made, the improvements that we made, all made sense. Like you said, we needed another outside corner when an upgrade from Anthony Brown. We get that in Stephon Gilmore. We needed an upgrade at anybody in the wide receiver, other wide receiver too. We get that in Brandon Cooks. We just do like you said, we still have Dan Quinn to run the defense. So any expectations, anything that you can, all that sauce, all that glare, all that Cowboy luster that everybody hates, that they always want to portray on us, when it isn't warranted, it's kind of warranted in this offseason. Would it come to fruition? Would they go to the Super Bowl? Would they go to the NFC Championship? Who knows? But the fact that I'm talking about the offseason expectations, anything that you can say that this team can contend. This team is the 3rd best team in the NFC. The way how you rank it.
I didn't think this was warranted this year, honestly. All the hate. But that's just me.
No, I didn't say it was hate. No, I'm saying I'm talking about, how everybody say, the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, all right.
That's what I'm saying. So if you say that, you can say that with some validity, and you can actually pinpoint things that they can actually say. Like you said, when you're the third best team in any conference, you're a contending team. You have a chance. You can make a case. You can make a case.
The Bills are
top five in any
contending
conference
team,
for
right?
real, for real.
And once we get there, I'm going. Like I said, I'm not down on the Bills like everybody else, but we're not talking about the Bills right now. We're talking about Dallas Cowboys.
So to me, I'm actually very high on this team.
See what I'm saying?
I'm extremely high on the Cowboys because, like, yes, people hate the Cowboys, and the Cowboys get unwarranted hate sometimes because it's all you see on TV. It's all they ever talk about, and they always get propped up, and they always say, "Oh, this team is this team is a Super Bowl contender." Blah 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 blah. Okay, cool. But let's not forget this Cowboys team only lost 4 games last season, and that was with a large chunk of it without their starting quarterback. You know what I'm saying? This team went 12-5. So we can't actually just write this team off like they're not a contender because, yeah, you're a 12-5 team, the third best in the conference. The only team, there's only maybe 2 teams that you can talk about that are better than you. One went to the Super Bowl, and the other, we have extreme questions about quarterback, and I actually have more questions about them. I have more questions about the San Francisco 49ers than I do about the Dallas Cowboys.
I ain't sold on the 49ers.
But at the end of the day, they still went to the NFC Championship.
We on the NFC.
Of course, they went to the NFC Championship, but also, if I'm going to take a look back, I can say
last year, bro.
That's last year, and I also can say the Cowboys got better.
But this is my thing. Every time we lose into the playoffs, we lose to a team that goes to the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl. We're not losing to these poo putts that they always want to laugh and say we don't do anything in the playoff. When we lose to somebody in the playoff, they go to the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl. So we losing to a legit team.
And here's my thing. You got better. Your team has more depth. Michael Gallup is a year removed from the ACL. He can look better now. You added Brandon Cooks. You have, to me, a very, very strong foursome to rush the passer in DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons, Sam Williams, and Durance Armstrong.
Keep Brandon Cooks the hell away from me.
And then you think about it, you bring in Stephon Gilmore to go on the opposite side of Trayvon Diggs. Say what you want about Trayvon Diggs and how many yards you think he gives up, but now if you act
corner, I'm sick of that, bro. Like,
here's my thing.
Take that no more, bro.
Like,
he's one of the few people that I'm sold on the Cowboys. I'm sold on Trayvon Diggs. Like, and if you're not, you're a hater. Period. The Cowboys defense don't worry me at all. I'm not worried about it. It's worried about, can Tony Pollard hold up because he gets nicked up? I mean, now he don't have Zeke to lean on. So it's like, can Tony Pollard hold up so that they can be that contender? And can Dak get over the hump? Those are the 2 question marks that I have for Dallas. I don't have any more question marks. So it's like, you could talk about Trayvon Diggs giving up yards. He does a damn job. You look at him compared to other corners. You tell me how many yards they give up. You go to cornerback on your team, not you, but I'm just talking about people who talk. Go to the cornerback on your team. You tell me how many yards they giving up, and then you could just shut the hell up. Like, I'm not a Cowboy fan, but the thing is, I'm not going to talk about players that ball out. It's the same thing that when I was talking about Saquon, you know what I'm saying? Like, people who ball out, I'm not gonna, it is what it is, bro. Like, I'm going to give you the real. And so Dallas's defense, they have, when they talk the D-line that you talk about, you have Micah Parsons leading that. You know what I'm saying? You have 2 elite corners. So it's like, bro, Dak has an injury history now, hell, no matter how you want to slice it. So it's like, that's the number 1 question mark. And then it's like, damn, if you're going to be, but he always play in the season. So he don't be having season injuries per se. He be playing. So it's like, bro, are you going to be healthy enough to be in your, where we need you to be when we need you to be it? Because we don't need you to be coming back a few games before we go to the playoffs. Now you trying to get in the game shape, and it's an important game. Are you going to be available this year? Are you going to cut the picks down? I think they go as far as Dak take them, bro, because the rest of the team is built.
It's definitely on Dak and it's definitely on McCarthy, bro. Like the pressure's on him.
To me, that's my biggest question: is how McCarthy is going to fare as a play caller.
I think McCarthy does a good job, though. Honestly, like we look at plays that don't work, and we always blame the coaches. It don't always be the coaches, bro.
But when
let's look at the last play that they ran in their playoff game where Zeke gets bowled over. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the play call, but I guarantee you in practice, Zeke, you're not getting bowled over like that. So it's like if you just
they probably don't rush Zeke like that.
They probably don't, but it's
why
like
the hell was that the play?
But if you just block for a couple seconds right there, that's probably a whole different outcome. You see what I'm saying? But now in hindsight, it looks like a bad play. But if that play works, then he's a fucking genius. So it's like, bro, it's about what my coaches used to say to me, bro. I could draw up the greatest game plan. Y'all got to execute it. So it's like,
AJ, what you say to me?
I think McCartney put him in winning position last year. That's what I believe.
AJ, what you say to me when you say about young coaches when they go like them young offensive coaches that become head coaches, they go get a veteran defensive coordinator.
Get you somebody who can be someone who can manage the other side of the ball as a head coach, and you can just focus on where your strong point is.
Yeah.
So we got Dan Quinn, right?
Yep.
It's year 3 for Dan Quinn and that defense.
That's why I literally said
I got to worry about it.
I ain't worried about the Cowboys defense.
So any imperfections that or rustiness that McCarthy has, that like I said, he can definitely focus on all his inabilities right then and there, because like I said, he has somebody that he can trust in that defense to hold it down. Anything else?
All I'm gonna say is this offense also that McCarthy is taking over. It's not like he's just trying to take some middle of the road, trash ass offense. This offense got some weapons.
We know that.
And he has a top 10 quarterback in Dak. So
there's top 30 players on the offense. Like, come on now.
And so you give Dan Quinn that defense, and McCarthy, if he even looks a semblance of like what he can do, like he can do something, this is gonna be this can be a number one. This can be a number one seed.
You mean if the players execute McCarthy's game plan?
Well, let's go ahead and finish it up with the runner-up to the Super Bowl, the Philadelphia Eagles. Go ahead, AJ.
All right, the Super Bowl losers, the Philadelphia Eagles. I have questions now because we just talked about the continuity and some of the players and the depth that the Cowboys have. You bringing in 2 new coordinators. And hey, Sirianni, you took your team to the Super Bowl, but how much does the coordinators play into that? How much of the offensive game plan were you involved in with, Shane Steichen? Y'all wanted Jonathan Gannon gone, but is Sean Desai gonna be the guy? So now you're bringing in, a new defensive coordinator. And you're bringing in some new faces, just like you talked about us Hill losing Von Bell and Jesse Bates. They lost CJGJ. They lost who else? But now you got Terrell Edmonds and Reed Blankenship.
Yeah,
I mean, come on now, like Reed.
I ain't sold on Reed, but
you know what I'm saying?
Definitely ain't sold on Reed.
And it's a reason Terrell Edmonds left Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? So you're bringing and now you're bringing in the Kobe Dean. Jarvis saying he willing to take Jabril Cox, so to play off-ball linebacker, and he might not even make the team according to Hill. You get what I'm saying? So obviously, y'all must have some issues there at linebacker in the spine of your defense if you're trying to bring in new off-ball linebackers, and then you got, some new starting safeties. We all love Jalen Carter in the draft, but there is a thing about rookie defensive linemen where there is a learning curve. So there's no guarantee that he hits the ground running. So I have some issues there. Tyler Steen. You got to bring him at right guard. This to me, the offense I think shouldn't be a problem because when you have Jalen Hurts, if he looked how he looked, then it shouldn't be an issue. But if Shane Steichen created an offense that Brian Johnson can't run, this can look different. This can look like rookie year Jalen Hurts instead of Super Bowl, a shoulder injury away from MVP. So there are some questions on this team. This team isn't guaranteed to go back to the NFC Championship game.
No team is
100%.
But my biggest question mark for the Eagles,
he was the best run defense safety last year. Who cares?
My biggest question mark for them is the fact that what I said earlier, NFC East does not have repeat champions, and unfortunately, we done marked 4th, 3rd, and 2nd, and we are left with a back-to-back champion, and everything in probability says it ain't gonna be the Eagles. So that's my biggest question mark. My second biggest question mark is the loss of starters. So it's like you're a Super Bowl caliber team. You lose. I think they lost 4 starters on the How many starters on the defense? Slay came back, so maybe 3 starters on the defense.
They lost the linebacker. They lost Hargrave. They lost Gardner Johnson. And it was somebody else.
And then something just happened to Gardner Johnson recently.
He got injured in Detroit.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like you losing starters. Now, what I will say is I'm like AJ. I'm assuming that your offense is going to be pretty stable. You know what I mean? You got Jalen Hurts. If he's going to look like how he looked, if coaching staff understands what he likes to do, I'm assuming that's going to be. My second question mark is the loss of the defensive player. So it's like it's a tight division. Cowboys, you know what I mean? If Dak is on, what if Dak is making that? You know what I mean? He's not injured and he's taking those leaps and he's throwing to those weapons that we talked about. That's going to be a dangerous thing. Even still, when you facing those 3rd and 4th teams in the NFC East, Washington has offensive pieces. So it's like AJ said, that it's not going to be an easy victory. It could be if we play bad, but it's like it also couldn't be. You know what I'm saying? And the Giants are not going to be an easy victory either. So it's like, bro, like it's going to be tough. But I do think even with my 2 major question marks about their players leaving and with the NFC East not having back-to-back champions for the most part, I do think that they are going to be back-to-back division champions this time. I think that them and the Cowboys will make the playoffs unless one of the 3rd or 4th teams play above their one of the quarterbacks on the 3rd. Let me be specific. One of the quarterbacks on the 3rd and 4th team take a step up, then I think those teams will cause problems. But I also don't know if Dan Jones steps up with no wide receivers, like God bless you, bro. You need to leave. You need to leave this year, bro. Leave when your stuff is done. Just leave, bro, because Lord have mercy.
My thing about the Eagles is, like I said, on paper, all the subtractions that they had, they definitely, made additions. They replaced them. You know what I'm saying? Are they upgrades? We'll see. But on paper, they definitely, everything that they lost, they definitely replaced, and they replaced it fast. You know what I'm saying? The thing about the losing the coordinators is definitely a question. I get that. But losing Jonathan Gannon is an upgrade. I don't give a damn. Like I'm going to go out on the limb. This defensive coordinator they got is an upgrade from Jonathan Gannon. Like you said, you listen to the Eagles. They've been trying to get rid of Jonathan Gannon for a long time because his simplistic ass scheme is not really legit. Like I said, they have a lot of players that played above their scheme and it made it look way better than it. But you seen what happened when they played legitimate quarterbacks. Like you said, you can say what you want. Dak dropped 40 on his defense. The defense was healthy. You know what I'm saying? Dak dropped 40 on his defense. He ain't Mahomes. Let's see what Mahomes did to him. When they play legitimate quarterbacks, you seen what happened to this defense. Offensively, I do have the question. I'm high on the offensive coordinator now.
They also lost Miles Sanders too, so that's another piece they lost.
Yeah, but they replaced them with Swift. And, got Rashad Penny.
That's a new guy coming in. Running backs devalue. I don't necessarily. I gotta see him. They did replace him though. To your point.
So that's my point. So everybody that they lost, we can say that they replaced them with. Now, is it an upgrade yet to be seen? That goes back to my point. I want to go back to the offensive coordinator.
I don't care who we learned under.
You go back to the offensive coordinator, Steichen.
Yep.
He legit.
Mm-hmm.
He's
100%.
legit. You can tell because first off, Nick Sirianni was calling the plays when he first got there. And that's when it was looking a little suspect. And Jalen Hurts was still looking a little suspect. When he took over the play call, and that's when they went on a run and they made it to the playoffs that year.
And now what I tell you about it, what I tell you about a head coach who has certain duties and then gives those duties up.
Yeah.
And also players the coaches that try to play to their players' strengths, bro.
So when it comes to like I was saying about the Giants last year, how they snuck up on people. Let's think about the rhetoric that was going around the Eagles last year. Oh, the Eagles have everything, but what is Jalen Hurts going to do? Is he going to take that step? Is he going to be the one that's holding them back? And what did he do? He answered the bell. Damn near MVP candidate. Like I said, he showed up. But this year, is he sneaking up on anybody?
Nope.
Exactly. So now these people know what he's like. They know what he likes to do. They have actual legit film on him to see what he's capable of, and maybe they can, what I'm saying, make some stops. Like I said, the schedule is definitely not going to be the same as they did last year. They started off a little weak. But it gets hot. It gets hot. Like I said, they definitely still are one of the best teams. Like I said, it may be the best team on paper in the NFC. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not taking nothing away from them, but the questions that I asked for when we were talking about the Bengals or when we were talking about the Ravens, the questions that I asked, they have questions as well.
That's what I said. Like I have questions about this team, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it at all. Still picked them to be first, so it's like, if you'd be mad if you're an Eagles fan. We picked them first, bro. Like, stop, bro. And I don't even believe in repeat champions, and I technically should have picked the Cowboys based off my own philosophy.
I don't give a damn what happens in the division. I just, like I said, they still the contending teams.
They
know
are,
what I'm saying?
For sure.
So if they don't win the division, they're still a contending team. If the Cowboys win the division or they don't win the division, they're still a contending team.
Major injuries.
But of course, that's always the caveat. We ain't got to say that no more when we do this. Like you say, barring major injury, you just blast that around on the ticket. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So
all of our takes about division is barring major injuries because that's going to change everything.